Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jonesies, Bonesies, and everyone in between. My name is Sundown, and I'm joined here by Bala, back at the desk again in front of a nice new background. Zeke flexing his magical talent there. I wish I had a little clapper. Apparently mine's broken and doesn't work. But if you're just joining us, we're getting into the final matches of the last region for the Blackheart Cup. This is NA West wrapping up all, and we've seen some incredible matches so far.
Yeah, we have, all the way through from Europe, all the way into NA East, and Oceania. We saw a few highlights from Skyla even. Fantastic matches through and through, man. I can't wait to see what NA West has in store for us.
Yeah, so already crowned a lot of victors coming out there. We have seen Skyla, Sinu as well, Beehive taking it home from Europe, and then most recently in NA East, we just watched. It was a really impressive performance. High Sky being able to take it away at the end there.
Yeah, 4 victory royales for him as well, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this format, see what we're playing. You guys seen it before, but if you're just tuning in, we do have top 25 getting 3 points. 15th is going to get you 2 extra points. Top 5 is going to get you 2 extra points, and then the victory royale is going to round out the 10 placement points with 3 extra there. And then each elimination is worth 1 point, so those are so very, very important, Sundown.
Yes, we've seen those eliminations add up and see how they allow players to climb up the leaderboard and claw their way up there. Now, taking a look at the prizing, there is a different breakout per region. So NA West last week was up to the top 20 teams. Now we've broken it out to the top 30. A reminder, it is based off of server population side and participation in the competitive playlist. And again, it is just a practice in our warm-up for what is coming in the future. Last week was our first in-client prize tournament with the Scallywag Cup being duos. This week we're doing it solos with the Blackheart Cup, and we're going to keep it rolling. We'll keep having trials as we head towards that April 13th and 14th, the first online open qualifier for the Fortnite World Cup. It is all leading up to that. So if you want to get participating, start playing the gauntlets during the week and then hopefully start qualifying for these matches in the semifinals and the finals. So we're going to be jumping into these matches. We're going to be hopping around, and we've changed up a little bit how we captured these matches. If you've watched Fortnite broadcasts before, it's generally start to finish, all custom matches. We follow everything from the drops to the looting. Now, because we're jumping in midway through, we have these server replays. We're aggregating them through as the players come in. We're able to hop to just the high action pace and try and catch as much of it as we can, so the viewing experience is better, and ideally we're working to get it to a point where it's accessible for you as content creators and broadcasters. I know, Bala, that's where you really got your start as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing exactly this is watching these games, analyzing them, doing as much as possible. And don't forget, it could be any of you. You already talked about it, right? Top 3,000 today. And so I can't wait for those replay accessibility, all that sort of stuff, because I'm going to be able to take a look, a sneak peek directly in.
And be able to break down some of the stuff you might not have been able to see before. So be able to see like what rotations players are making, why somebody was able to really get there. And for some of you players who are maybe looking to kind of break into that prizing section or break into the top 3,000, hopefully it'll be a tool where you can go through and break down some of the stuff, find where you make mistakes, find where maybe you could improve, and then get to that little level, and you're able to get into these matches, which we're going to do right now as we round out. So again, we are hopping directly into NA West. Each one of these regions, you have a 3-hour time slot to get the matches done, or 10 matches total to accumulate as many points as possible. Now, taking a look at our current in-game leaders, Bala, a couple of names we recognize on there.
Oh yeah, Zazma from Bloom. We talked about them a lot yesterday. He's up at 3 right now, leading the pack. Also, XV Flow, the Young God, and Braun. And I'm not even going to try.
I'm going to say Osikairam. I'll go with that one. Cool. I don't think that's even remotely close. But Bala, one thing I do want to talk about, looking at the bottom right-hand corner and the top right-hand corner, 41 players heading into Zone 4. But
can it get even more northeast?
I think this might be possibly, because there is a little bit of constraints for how much of the circle has to be on actually occupiable land. This is about as far to that end of the vector you can get. You don't get much farther over, and now with the next overlapping zone, it could make this rotation very awkward for some of the players. No, we're going to go back over dry land. Nobody has to worry about falling in and getting some of those watery shoes.
Yeah. That was one of our players in NA East. I think he plays NA West as well, but I did see Riverson in the background. He's such a strong West Coast player.
Yeah, a lot of the Bloom boys playing on both NA East and NA West, but definitely habituating more towards being higher up on the NA West board, where you see Dixon right there, no problem, or DXN, I apologize, Dixon is a player for Obey, picking up Abdul Sweat on the other side and gonna get a nice upgrade of loot, pretty much at everything there.
Yeah, one thing I do want to touch on is that zone. Like we said, it's all going to start
towards there, but being so far northeast away from Sunny Steps, the geysers are actually located more towards the central aspect, so unless the storm starts moving over towards there, players are really just going to have to rely on the mobility they have at hand.
Yeah, I think there's a few zip lines in this area still, but regardless, they did have the help of those vents and the volcano to get over here, but now they're all going to have to go on foot or with the mobility items that they have. Here we see Whirl trying to look for opportunities to use that heavy sniper, that heavy AR, put that into action.
Peeking up through the cone, trying to find how safe he can be, wanting to get up on a high ground, maybe pop some shots off. Sees there's a player very, very high up towards the higher end of the ground, trying to get a knockdown. There is only one thing holding that structure up, but the player does have the glider redeploy, but this is going to make them a sitting duck up in the air. Whirl, 1, 2, 3 shots coming through, 33 tick, and gets the last one with the headshot from that rare suppressed SMG. Well done by him, but probably not so well done by the opposing player. As you see Slim there, picking up Legend when he didn't necessarily have to move from the rotation. Another kind of miscue, which you can't really afford in these types of situations, Bala.
No, you can't. You've got to make sure that you're not making a single mistake, especially when you're that high up. Sticking with Whirl now, we're at 36 players remaining.
Yeah, trying
Quite
to
early,
line
and
up.
There's still so many players up.
Yeah, well, I would say with moving into the 6 storm a little early and way too much space you've given them there. Can't be window peeking like that. You need at least a layer of cover if you are going to poke out. As you can see, the player across highlighted in kind of that magenta color, I think. I don't know, I'm colorblind, I apologize. As Asma, now you see 1, 2, 3 launch pads as players are trying to get there. Ambron might end up being in trouble, taking down nearly to 20 HP. Osikurum trying to rotate along the backside of that circle. Now, this is a position we talked about where a lot of elims tend to happen because there's a lot of players trying to slow rotate. You see him trying to find that player above him, boxes himself off, but needs to be careful because of that quick drop off. You can end up getting stuck in your builds if one ends up completing and not getting the face, but he will find that player on the backhand, lands a good pump shot, still trying to chase him down, forces the player back into the storm. Will somebody else get the tag and be able to close out that player? Utilizing the dualies, he is able to pick it up, the elim onto IPF2M. Will he be able to get back into the storm? 24, 12, 4, trying to look for the other player. Should have just got yourself into the storm. You had impulses to get yourself there, and you miss out on top 25. 26 players remaining.
I think he had the opportunity there just to go, but with that hesitation, looking for the elimination for the HP, that's going to cost him the game. That decision too risky.
And losing 3 points because of it, not necessarily saying it was guaranteed, but now you see the ballers rotating through there. 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to get through as Hey E-Girls Ooh is able to pick up a nice elim, adding up to his 4th, and another one there, pick up Ezra on sweeping that backside of the circle, as we talked about, but now he's going to have to get some form of verticality. 50, 40, able to get back in the circle just for a tick, but no, unfortunately, he is going to tick out. Oh, no, not quite enough. Fall of that mad rotation just up the slight variable. Riverson almost going down to Farron. He's now on the backside of the circle, cannot take any damage.
Yeah, the northeast zones that we talked about so much already. Here's DXN looking for an elimination on the side of zone. There's so many ballers
just lining up directly for him as the players are trying to desperately find him. Asma is actually able to pick up Possum as DXN is able to put down a trap, catching players as he rotates. 43, not a good connection there from that epic pump, trying to find something more, just firing off shells. Baller end up coming in, shots coming in from behind as he's taking chunk damage. Player pops out of the baller, but unfortunately it takes a little bit to act. ATAB is back to lobby, 12th place, so does pick up 5 placement points. Dixon kind of drop into the baller there, just kind of reacquisitioning that, saying thank you, free real estate, you leave it here for a half second, that's mine. Using that to get up to the high ground. Young God boxing himself in, trying to find some space.
I saw the Bloom boys both go down, Riversun and Zazma out of the game. It's unfortunate for them, but we'll see. Top 10 now, the Young God looking for an opportunity. He's actually going to sit still for a little while. He's got plenty of time depending on how the zone is moving.
And DXM was actually able to pick up another elimination there, so you're just not utilizing the baller to get up onto high ground and then taking out the player there. So he's either on ultimate high or 1 tart beneath. 9 players remaining. Remember, placement points happen now. The next threshold is top 5, so people are looking for elims or simply to remain in the match as they try and get points. Now, Kirtex, another player to keep an eye out from, someone who can play aggressive and is no stranger to playing in this close quarters situation. OMG Extreme boxing himself up. Does not want to take any damage there, but is pretty well set for close quarters situation without actually a green pump. Gray suppress SMG is going to be hurting. Just needs to connect wherever he can. As long as he's accurate, trying to get the edit out.
Nice.
No problem there. Will he upgrade into the loot? Doesn't have time as he gets ripped up into the sky. 8 players remaining, Baller. 3, 4 up there, all holding their parachutes.
Yeah. 4 up there, 4 down below. 1 actually goes down, so there's only 3 down there now. They're all waiting. They're all trying to bait exactly for everybody to